homebistro.com. Freshly prepared, home-delivered, restaurant-quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50-plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commitment. Welcome to the one-shop gourmet food delivery, specializing in affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from homebistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with homebistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with homebistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information. What's up, fam? Welcome to another installment of TSC Unleashed. We in the building. Big ups to the Black and Gold family members chiming in this Tuesday edition. TSC Unleashed, NFL Monday Night Football, New York, Tampa Bay recap. And more on this edition, man. We'll recap that pathetic game. Tampa Bay Succaneers, man. Giants should have won that game, man. That just suck-ass, dirty, trifling referees. Plus, we'll have some trade deadline news, some NBA news, and of course, we're going to do the pound for pound list as done by CBS Sports. I'm Big Q chiming in this installment. We're going to bring in my co-host, Uncle Mozzi. How you doing, fam?
I'm good. What's going on with y'all?
Everything good, my friend. Everybody good in the chat. Big ups to the rest of the family members joining us in the TSC Super Chat. Big ups to the rest of the family members. Brother Jerry, Marty Frost, everybody in the chain. I see Tyra. I see you, Tyra. Who that to you? Tro Blewett, Elite Goods, DeWright, Brother Jerry, KB, Cutter. What's up, Throat Cutter? I see you, fam. Who else we got there? Let's see. I won't leave nobody out. Donald, what's up, Donald? Donald in the building as well. GM Kev is in the building. Big ups to all the family members supporting the TSC Unleashed stream. BR Fitted 225. I see you in there as well. Big Okula, I see you, fam. Okula as well. Lance Kelly, big ups, big ups, big ups. All the family members that's joining in. Brian Pearson, J Rock, everybody, big ups to y'all. Thank y'all for joining us today. We're going to get into some stories here, man. We're going to start it off with the Monday Night Football affair where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was able to score 10 points in the fourth quarter to take the matchup. The Giants rolled back and could have tied the game up with the last play of the game. They said it wasn't pass interference. The guy threw the flag. They met around to talk about it. They pulled the flag up and said no contact, no illegal call, even though the guy ran the damn guy off. I mean, I just don't know. These bastards just play so many games with the rules you can barely understand what's going on nowadays. That's why I say we need a competing league, man, because when you have competing leagues or somebody can go at this Monopoly style NFL game, man, we can get some real stuff happening here. It's too much crookedness. 25-23 on the game. Tom Brady was 28 of 40, 279, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked a couple of times, 81.6 on the QBR. Leonard Fournette, 15 carries, 52 yards. But only 3.5 on the carry. Mike Evans, 5 catches, 55 yards, 11 yards per catch, a touchdown off of 7 targets. Gronkowski, 4 catches, 4 targets, 41 yards. He also had a touchdown in the matchup. Daniel Jones, man, who hadn't played well, he came on in this game and made it competitive at least. 25 of 41 for 256, 2 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times in the matchup. Wayne Gallman, the backup, 12 carries, 54 yards, had a score on the ground. Top man was Sterling Shepard, 8 catches, 74 yards. Evan Ingram, 5 catches, 61. Darius Slayton had 5 for 56. Golden Tate had a beautiful touchdown grab in the matchup as well. So the Giants, they couldn't get it done. 25-23, they fall in the last minute. Mozzie, thoughts on this Tampa Bay game?
Well, I mean, as far as the calls are concerned, I mean, the same thing make you laugh, make you cry. You have absolutely no issue at all when LeBron gets these fantasy calls that never happened, that nobody ever saw before.
What does LeBron James got to do with this?
What?
What does LeBron James got to do with this, Mozzie?
Well, I mean, because you seem to be in a real whiny mode because you feel like. Yeah, right, because you feel like that they were robbed or they were cheated, and you feel like it was like that because of Tom Brady, right?
Were they though? Can I ask you that? Were they cheated?
No referee is gonna call that.
Yes or no?
On a player. No, they weren't cheated because that's just how it goes.
So why would you bring the LeBron contact? What's the LeBron got to do with this? He's a champion.
Well, because every time I mentioned that when LeBron, let me tell you something. I went live earlier, right? When I got in, I went live and I was telling everybody, you don't reserve the right to protest or whine or bitch about anything that goes on from Trump or anybody after the election if you don't exercise your right to vote today. So if we use that same train of thought, all right, or whatever, like you don't reserve the right to whine about Tom Brady. Right, you don't reserve the right to whine about Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting calls or not getting calls, right? When you're all for LeBron James and all his antics and everything that he does.
But I'm just saying, I don't understand what's the correlation between LeBron James and what you're saying here, Uncle Mozzi?
Well, right, because you didn't have an issue when the Lakers got all of the calls, and then he whined to the front, his daddy at the front office. And they made the referees give him like 10 more free throws the following. You remember that when they were playing my team, the Denver Nuggets, and they basically just demoralized him with that move. And he called the front office and made the front office. He called his daddy and said, "Man, Daddy, they're following me out here, and you need to make the referees call more calls, and that's what he did. And you didn't have any issue with that. So I do not want to hear about the Bucks not the Bucks getting calls and not getting calls, because when the shoe was on the left foot, you didn't have no problem when Lefty LeBron was calling the daddy at the front office and making people give him foul calls. So don't whine now. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Uncle Mozzi, I got you. He just was waiting to kind of get even with it. He was sitting there waiting.
Right, you already knew.
All right, let's keep it.
I don't know.
So you don't know. You don't know. So besides that, me saying that I don't have the right to say anything about what happened with the Buccaneers call. What about the game?
Oh no, the game itself. I mean, hey, this was probably the best Giants complete game that Daniel Jones and the Giants have played. There's no Saquon Barkley. They're rebuilding, but I think the Giants have a coach that everybody kind of believes in. I think that Daniel Jones he's making a lot of mistakes, but he's super athletic. He understands that he's making mistakes, and he's genuinely trying to improve week in, week out. With the addition of Saquon Barkley coming back, you got a couple of receivers coming into their own over there. I don't think that this will be their year. I don't even think next year will be their year. But I do think that if they stick with the program and don't jump the gun in the next 2-3 seasons, especially in the NFC least, I think that they could run that division wholeheartedly, solely. And not, I mean, not to take away from what Tampa Bay did, but I mean, this is the Giants, and everybody touted the Giants of being in the same category. That New York Jet, that Jacksonville Jaguar, in that same category. So for them to take Tampa Bay down to the wire like they did, and even force the issue a little bit in OT. I mean, that was what it was. I think they did a remarkable job on both sides of the ball, given the talent level they have, because obviously Tampa Bay is loaded from top to bottom in talent. They're better coach. The system's been in place. You got Tom Brady, who's a multiple Super Bowl winning quarterback. You got Leonard Fournette. You got arguably the best tandem duo tight end wide receivers in the game. You got, you're pretty good. You awesome at tight end. That relationship's been there for over a decade. So, I mean, when they're almost a decade. So when you look at all of the things they have, this was never supposed to be what you saw. So that was pure determination. And I see week in and week out of Daniel Jones, even when they clowned him a couple weeks ago when he tripped at the 8-yard line, just for him to have blitzed the defense like that and toasted them for a run on like a read option play, which was already unbelievable that he was able to break 5 or 10 yards, but to run freely all the way, he stopped his own self. That's the only reason he didn't get in. So when you look at everything, he's genuinely trying, but they've got all stay the course feed into the system. And I think in a couple of years, if they do that, I think they'll be okay.
All right, thank you for that, Uncle Mozzi. He was waiting with that one, man. He couldn't have much to say about that. He was sitting there waiting for that one. All right, let's keep it going to the next talk of this. Of course, this is the trade deadline happening in a little more than 30 minutes from now. Right now, what's happening, the Fowler, according to ESPN, Jeremy Fowler, inside saying Texas asking for a lot from teams. The sense around the league is Texas have wanted high draft picks for multiple players, not just Will Fuller, makes the deal difficult at times. Teams aren't eager to part with more than one day 3 pick, less than 40 minutes to make a deal. So it's seeing what the Texans are trying to do. Dolphins did make a deal as they're trying to piece it together. Dolphins made a deal with the Patriots. They traded Ford, their wide receiver, Isaiah Ford, to the needy wide receiver needy Patriots. Sent him up in. They're already open for more opportunities for slot man Malcolm Perry, Lynn Bowden Jr., and Antonio Callaway, who comes off the suspension list this week and will be activated for the 53-man spot. The Patriots getting a reliable wide receiver who doesn't ooze elite physical traits, but also knows his assignment and often comes up in key moments. A rare trade between rivals. So there it is. Dolphins deal wide receiver Ford to the Patriots. That happened. And a smaller deal. And of course, the big talk of today is, can the Patriots trade for a receiver themselves? And of course, according to Diana Rossini, she's saying, I'm told that the Packers have discussed trading for Will Fuller. However, there's been a disagreement in Green Bay at the highest levels of the organization over whether or not add an elite receiver in the short term will be worth the spin. I think you guys want to win a Super Bowl, get up off your ass and make the trades, in my opinion. Will Aaron Rodgers be disappointed if the Packers don't add anyone before the trade down? He won't be disappointed. He's used to it. They chose a quarterback this year as opposed to getting them some help with the wide receiver. And he says, I'm just focused on what I've got to do this week. And he's somebody that is awesome. We're looking forward to working with him next week, if not business as usual. So Aaron Rodgers know that he's out of there next year, so he can give a hell what they do. On to the Cowboys. Will the Cowboys make a deal? And of course, according to 105.3, the fan out there in the DWF area, Jerry Jones said that the Cowboys, there's a high probability the Cowboys will make a trade. One player who isn't going anywhere was Eldon Smith. I think it's been positive how he's involved. According to Jones, he's a different player than he was, but it doesn't make it negative. I like the focus. I like his attitude. I like his attitude about the future. I'm not interested in doing anything about Elton. There have been no talks yet regarding an extension. So the Cowboys are definitely going to make a move. What are they going to do? In my opinion, it's going to be for a quarterback. And in my head, I'm thinking it might be a quarterback. It's got to be a quarterback in the interim. It's still Andy Dalton's health is up in the air. What's going on with him, but you might want to get I don't know if a younger quarterback, but something just tell me that the old veteran quarterback for Miami could be a guy that you could look at, kind of guide your team in the interim. The guy is obviously a winner and would be a good fit in Dallas country with all the weapons they have. So could they make a move for Fitzpatrick for Miami? That'll be interesting to see. And of course, we're looking at one of the best cornerbacks in the game, Stephen Gilmore. Rumors is that he's on the trade block. And according to various reports, they're saying they're speaking with GMs around the league, and they've learned that multiple teams who've called the Patriots about cornerback Stephen Gilmore was told by the Patriots they want a first-round pick and a player in exchange for the 2019 AP Defensive Player of the Year. Belichick on today's trade is how things are going to often change quickly. It's like ball is going to roll into the cup, and then at least a second spins it out, so you just have to take it as it comes. So they want a first-round draft pick and a player for Stephen Gilmore, said the Patriots. Now, you heard all these different trade moves that I'm talking about, Uncle Mozzi. And just to throw another one on top of that, that happened with the Falcons and McKinley saying that he's not going to be traded. He came out and said that they aren't trading me. They declined a handful of offers for Takk McKinley. That's the Falcons. All right, but based on all that, which you can feel free to comment, Uncle Mozzi, on some of these trades going now or not going now today.
The Gilmore trade is an absolute joke. Nobody's going to give him a one and like a player for a cornerback. You got to look at Sam Darnold. They were asking for a 2. He's a quarterback, way more impactful. And then Gilmore is hurt, if I'm not mistaken. He was hurt last week. And I think it's like a knee injury or something, like something vital you need as a cornerback. So I'm not even understanding how helpful he'll be or how impactful he'll be in the short term, because I don't even think he'll be ready to go for at least another week physically. And then obviously he would still have to learn whatever system. Considering this is already week 8, we can get Gilmore worked in at week, 11? Maybe kind of productive week 12. So that leaves a couple weeks left in the season, and you giving up a number 1 pick as well as a player. Is he worth a 2 or 3? Yeah, I just don't. There's nobody that they'll draft in the 2nd or 3rd round, in my opinion, that's going to be as impactful as a player as Gilmore is, in the 2nd or 3rd round, coming out the gate. 1st round is something totally different because you got a lot of 1st round talent. You got a lot of other needs. So, I wouldn't do that. I think the Patriots are asking a lot for it. I don't know if this is some kind of a last ditch effort to possibly get maybe a receiver or a tight end or a running back to kind of help out on the offensive side of the ball. That's not where they're struggling at. They're struggling on the defensive side of the ball. The offense is slow, but you got a couple pieces. You still don't really know what you want to do at quarterback. You got a lot going on to be worrying about giving up a solid piece that you do have, and then have to have the audacity to ask for a first, and some players. The only people I know that do that type of stuff is Swade when he plays Madden. He'll trade off and get 1st round picks or whatever because he's just a weirdo and doesn't really know how to play the game. That's why he used to beat him all the time. He used to beat you all the time too, but for other reasons.
No,
yeah,
sir.
You remember that?
No, sir.
Yeah, you remember that. Of course you did. But anyway, I think that trade's crazy. I think that Fitzpatrick is good on any Martin Luther King in my opinion. I think he can go anywhere and start. I really don't agree with how he got benched for 2 or 2. Did not show me anything last week. Fitzmagic has been, as good a quarterback as you could be. If you look at his statistics and you look at his wins and loss totals, to me this year, and I know I'm gonna get flack for it, especially from you, but to me, Fitzmagic has been no different than Drew Brees. He has been no different than Aaron Rodgers.
Come on,
bro. Listen, win-loss column, stats only, win-loss column. I'll wait. Does Fitzmagic have just as good as stats with just as good as a win-loss record
as
some of the most favorite quarterbacks in the league? Yes or no? Now.
Let's hear it. What are your statistics? Let's hear it.
I'm out. You're the statistician.
You are presenting. Hey, that don't how it works, sir. You're presenting the argument. So
put my opinion out there. I'm gonna put that opinion out there that I based on.
Well, where's the fact? The fact, Uncle Mozzi. Where's your receipts?
The facts. You know what? I'm tired of you. You know what? I'm gonna
pull out your receipts, sir. Because what I'm looking at for Fitzpatrick is he's 1,500 yards throwing. He has 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. How is that even close to what Drew Brees is doing?
Some of those interceptions.
He got 7 interceptions.
No, but at least 3 or 4 of those have been simply because either the receivers fell on, or they ran the wrong route, or they just dropped the ball and it was tipped and landed in somebody else's hands.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
On 3 or 4 of those, yeah, what? And what is the overall team record? Can you state that, please?
Oh man,
what's Ryan Fitzpatrick's team record? What can you state that for the public, please?
When he took over, weren't they 5? When Tua took over, wasn't it a 500 club? They were what, 3-3?
They were 3-3, but that's not all. It's not all on the offensive side of the ball. Fitzmagic has willed them to win, and hey. Let's not be all high and mighty 5-2. Let's not be all high and mighty 5-2. Let's not do that. All right? Because you look at the New Orleans Saints record, they're 5-2. So they're technically only one loss away from where Miami is, with a Hall of Fame, arguably the best quarterback to ever throw the ball in Drew Brees. So I mean, let's not do that. 5-2. Hello? Are you there 5-2?
All I can tell you is 5-2 is we're not winning the games like in blowout fashion. We scraping through, but 5-2 is 5-2 is all I can say. And I'm not happy about that, but I am quite happy about being 5-2 and not to the reverse. Well, looking at Fitzpatrick, just to be honest with you, Fitzpatrick's not a bad quarterback in terms of somebody you won't have. Nope. On a short-term basis. If I was a Dallas Cowgirls, I would definitely be making a play to get Fitzpatrick and bring him in the team. I mean, his career statistics aren't bad. 34,000 yards, 220 touchdowns versus 98 interceptions, and a career rating of 82.1 isn't bad. So, I mean, and then, of course, he was St. Louis, Cincinnati, Buffalo, Tennessee, Houston, the Jets, Tampa Bay, and Miami. Dallas would be another stop. Dallas has the running backs. They have the wide receivers there. The defense needs a little help, but they need some continuity. And, of course, we know that Dalton is on the C-19 list, so they need a veteran who's not going to make the guys that feel comfortable about Dak Prescott say, man, they just traded for Jameis Winston. There's no combination. There's no fear there. If Fitzpatrick comes along, he can help keep them on the straight and narrow. He has a talented team to work with. And I say that's a brain neutral trade right there for the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll see if they can put that together, man. That is really a commonsensical trade right there. And if they don't pull something like that off, they're a bunch of jokes, man. If they won't try to compete for the playoffs, though, but we do know they're a joke, period. But they'll be even a bigger goddamn joke if they don't pull that trade off to at least get Fitzpatrick, man, who just now sitting as a backup. It's Tua team. Now it's Tua time. All right, so let's move forward, man. Let's keep it going here. We'll go on to some NBA discussion now. Adam Silver boosts urgency on the deal for the NBA's pre-Christmas start. Now, of course, the commissioner saying that to the general managers on Monday that he told the top team basketball executives that the time is running out on the possibility of starting the 2021 season on Christmas Day, potentially salvaging hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Now, the discussions with the Players Association continued over the weekend into Monday, but the union's reluctance to agree to a December the 22nd start date and a reduced 72-game regular season has left the league very fearful of as several days left open in the training camps around December the 1st for a preseason tip is no longer a realistic possibility. Optimism still exists that an agreement can be reached on a pre-Christmas start, but has been tempered in recent days, as according to what they're saying. The league, or actually the association's player association, Michelle Roberts, who's representing the union for the players, they're not shooting for that time. But of course, the NBA saying that they believe there is somewhere between a 500 million to 1 billion in revenue losses next season and beyond by falling short of the season starting in December. That's because the league knows that the Christmas Day games are big revenue generating vehicles for the league, and they do not want to miss that time frame. The NBA has pushed back to Friday a deadline that keeps opening the option of terminating the collective bargaining agreement, which would essentially blow up the league's financial structure that allows for a 50-50 split of basketball-related income under the provisions of the CBA. But because of the C virus pandemic triggering the force majeure, the force majeure clause in the CBA, both sides have the option of serving notice of a 45 days of a terminating agreement, sources says. Now, NBA is searching for ways to increase the cash flow into teams, and sources said the league is hoping to extend guidelines on sports betting, hard alcohol, and casinos that could generate between 80 million to 100 million in revenue. So when the money gets tough, all of the moral stuff that you were saying, we don't want, we're going to lax that and see about giving that to help out. See how the game go. When the money go down, the morals go out the door. But anyway, Mozzi, this is a part of it, man. We think about the league possibly missing $500 to $1 billion in revenue if they can't get it right for Christmas Day.
Well, I mean, you already knew what it was. What the NBA did with the whole bubble, they tried to be trendsetters and innovative, and they tried to smooth things over and pat everybody on the booty and tell them that a boy and make everything well at a huge loss. Well, now that they've done that, the public is like, okay, we thank you for being innovative, showing everybody how to do it. Great, that's wonderful. But we don't want you to start at Christmas because they just finished. So why don't you push that back to like January or February so we can we just watch basketball. We don't want it to come that fast. And, it's just a bunch of foolishness that they got going on. And it's all tailored around the simple fact that they didn't drought them long enough on basketball. They just finished basketball, so nobody misses basketball. It's like the girl you see every single day of your life and you just get tired of seeing her. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is, if you're droughted from her, or if you are not around her and you have an opportunity or a chance to miss her, then the relationship is a lot more solid. It has a lot more substance when given time to separate. You do your own thing, I do my own thing, and now everybody's ready for it. The issue is everybody just got basketball and everybody just got that itch scratched. So you're telling everybody, okay, we did that for y'all. Now let us make the $1 billion. And the public is saying, well, wait a minute. We got to think bigger than this, because how are we we can't do the bubble thing again. So we got to open up arenas. We got to do this. We got to do that. The players don't want to play because the players are going to get paid anyway. That's what those guaranteed contracts are. Some of them have endorsements. So, I mean, yeah, it hurt the lower level players, but the ones in charge of the decision making, the LeBron Jameses and the Chris Pauls, of course, they're not going to push the issue because they're going to get paid. They got endorsements and they don't really care. Not only that,
shame on them for feeling good.
Why would we want to start immediately after stopping, put extra wear and tear on our bodies because we're not going to have the adequate rest, we're not going to have the adequate training to go right back into another season, especially when you look at it from the standpoint of the teams that did not make it to the bubble. So in that regard, what you're in essence doing is saying, okay, all of you fat slobs that have let your bodies go over the last 10 months that we haven't played basketball, 9 months we haven't played basketball, we need all of y'all to figure it out in like 4 weeks and report to whatever gym or whatever, however they're going to work it. Okay, that's cool. But at the end of the day, the main players, they're not going to really want to go for it. The public doesn't really want to go for it, but the NBA is pushing the issue. The sponsors are pushing the issue because they understand that it's $1 billion. And just to put that in perspective for everybody that's listening, if I was worth $1 billion, that would mean me as an individual can spend, without the risk of worry, $1 million per year, and I would not go broke for 1,000 years. I'll say that again. I can spend $1 million annually and not go broke for 1,000 years. To put it even in a harsher perspective, if I was worth $1 billion at the time of Christ's birth, 2,000 years ago, I could spend $500,000 and I would have not gone broke until Y2K. That's how much money that is. So nobody wants to be the ugly girl in the room. Nobody wants to hold a hot potato, and nobody wants to slip on that kind of money.
All right. Thank you for that, Uncle Mozzi. Let's shift into boxing. That's right, fam. We're going to talk a little boxing for our final topic of discussion today. And we're going to talk boxing with a fantastic Gervonta the Tank Davis as he surged into the top of the boxing pound-for-pound rankings after shattering the eye test in the pay-per-view headliner. Tank Davis had the entire world buzzing after he knocked the piss out of 4th division champion Leo Santa Cruz. What could possibly be the knockout of the year. It's up there, and I'll say it's up there so far what Povetkin did to Dillian White. That was impressive too, so it's definitely up there. But let's look at it. As soon as it's how soon is too soon awarding some recognition as one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world when their resume has not yet caught up with the ability seen inside the ring. It's been a common debate for years about how people choose to add guys to the pound for pound list, but whether it's a softer matchmaking than necessary or bad luck or potential to opponents falling due to injury, Tank Davis has yet to gain that respect that he coveted despite already at the age of 25 being 24-0 with 23 knockouts. He's collected world titles at both 130 and 135. Hasn't always been the best advocate in this area, along with consistent troubles making weight. When he lost that junior lightweight title on the scales of, in the showcase bout with Floyd Mayweather with the Conor McGregor thing in 2017. Remember that? Davis also has been no stranger to headlines of the negative kind after multiple brushes with the law, but he makes a good fighter though. But you're looking at what he did to Leo Santa Cruz, and they're posturing to say, where is his fit, man, in the pound for pound rankings? Well, here we go. We're going to give you the pound for pound rankings or the top 10 boxers, no matter class or whatnot in the league. Now, this is a list according to CBS, and we're going to go over it. Number 1, Canelo Alvarez, who's 52-1-2 with 31 knockouts. He's middleweight, unified, light heavyweight champion as well. He hadn't fought yet, and they're saying a December bout. He's currently going through a lawsuit with DAZN, Oscar De La Hoya, and Golden Boys, which could keep the Mexican superstar out of the ring for an extended period of time. Rumors persist that in December he could return. Although he's won and vacated a light heavyweight title in 2019, it is almost likely that Alvarez returns at 168. Number 2, you got Inoue, who's a Japanese fighter, 19-0, 17 knockouts. He's a bantamweight, unified at the bantamweight, Japanese fighter, and the guy's phenomenal. If you never heard of Inoue, please look him up on YouTube. The guy's ferocious, very vicious body puncher, really good fighter. He just beat a guy. I think he knocked him out in the 7th round, if my memory serves. Japanese, they call him the Monster. Didn't disappoint on October 31st in Las Vegas. He operates under Top Rank and ESPN. He knocked out Jason Maloney. Baloney showcased Inoue's complete game as he went on to call out other top belt holders at 118. And then we got number 3, Terrence Bud Crawford, one of my favorite fighters, 35-0 with 25 knockouts, got a belt, welterweight champion, one of the welterweight champion. You also have Errol Spence, who's unified there. Terrence has a belt, and Manny Pacquiao has a belt. So he also has a fight coming up against Kell Brook. The only thing that's poised to stop Crawford's eventual ascension to the top list is his lack of access to the best welterweights in the world, given that he signed with Top Rank, which was a big mistake. He should have went over to PBC with Premier Boxing Champions. He would have been fighting guys over there like Sean Porter. He would have been fighting guys like Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. He could have had a fight with Pacquiao, but he wants to be stubborn and go to Top Rank, and Arum can't get him any fights, but garbage like Kell Brook. But anyway, let's keep going. Up next is November the 14th, date against faded former champion Kell Brook, which this guy is not even a welter. He hadn't fought at the welterweight since 2017. He was at a much heavier weight, and then he came back down. He had multiple surgeries dealing with his eye. This dude is, to me, it's like a Gamboa type of deal. It's just a toss-up fight. Terrence Crawford at number 3. Number 4 behind him, which is interesting. They have Crawford ahead of him, and then Errol Spence. The truth is there. And then they're saying Spence, well, he's 26-0, 21 knockouts, unified welterweight champion. A lot of people would argue that he should be above Terrence Crawford, but the only way to mix that out is those guys got to go to head-to-head, and that's going to be a serious welterweight clash. That, in my opinion, won't happen until possibly next year or later. Spence will have a lot of explaining to do following a year-plus layoff and a dangerous car crash that left him lucky to be alive. He was ejected from his Maserati. Wasn't it a Maserati? He crashed it and was ejected from the car, landed on the ground. He survived, came back, and he's fighting again. That's what I'm saying. That's a true definition of a fighter. He's set to go December 5th against Danny Garcia, which is a good fight, but it's a warm-up fight to bigger fights when he's looking to then take on either Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao is next, and Crawford after that. And of course, we'll see what happens November the 14th. 5th fight is they have on this list Vasily Lomachenko, despite the fact that Lomachenko got beat recently by Lopez. I don't think Vasily Lomachenko should be on this list. Former P4 pound for pound king suffered his first convincing defeat as a professional despite rallying in the second half late against Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo was just manhandling him. He wasn't scared of him. He took the fight to him, and he was able to beat Lomachenko very easily. And he shouldn't be on the pound for pound list. He really shouldn't. And then you don't have Lopez on that. That's disrespectful. Next fighter, number 6, is Manny Pacquiao. That's right. 62-7-2, 39 knockouts for the welterweight champion, holding one of the welterweight belts. The ageless wonder. He scheduled a fight soon to be fighting against Conor McGregor. He's looking, and he's 41, but they're looking. Pacquiao, according to his promoter, or not his promoter, but his trainer, Roach, said that he has 2 fights left in him. He's trying to get paid, so he's looking at Conor McGregor for a fight similar to what Money Mayweather did, and then after that, possibly a unification bout with Errol Spence or whatever shakes in 2021. But that's on the horizon for Manny the Pac-Man Pacquiao. Number 7 on the list, Tyson Fury, a cheating dog, in my opinion. A rotten cheating dog. He cheats in several of his fights. I mean, it's Glove Gate 1, Glove Gate 2 with the Deontay Wilder fights. Gloves it's tampering with the gloves. It's real, just terrible.
Oh, man.
It's
Yo,
all kind
go,
man,
bro.
dude, you better do your research.
Bro, that man got his ass whipped, bro. That's
Man,
what that was.
you better go and look at the tape. Let me get through this.
That man boxed him up and laughed at him and played around with him like a
The
cat
WBC lineal champion, along with co-promoter Bob Arum, have claimed publicly they're longly legal obligated to face Deontay Wilder in a trilogy fight because the mandatory window has come and gone. Fury is seeking a softer December the 5th return before chasing Anthony Joshua in 2021. All thing I can say about Anthony Joshua, if you're going to face that dude, you better make sure whoever you have to watch his gloves get wrapped and all this is something else, because the machine behind Tyson Fury, man, the machine behind Tyson Fury is ridiculous. This guy survived all kind of stuff where he was caught paying off farmers to say that he bought tainted meat from them. Look that up. That the fact that they said he was using cocaine, that's why he went through a 2-year hiatus when he was actually banned for having steroids. All of that. This dude is absolute it's just garbage, dude. I'm telling you, I'm keeping it real with you. All right, let's move on. Number 8 on the fight is Teofimo Lopez, who should be higher than the guy he beat, Lomachenko. It's just ridiculous. At 23, Lopez pulled an upset, a 4-1 favorite against Vasily Lomachenko, announcing himself as the next big thing in the sport after the rematch with Lomachenko or the fight with WBC second champion Devin Haney. I would love to see that now. Teofimo, he just had surgery, so he'll be out of the ring the 4 to 6, I think it is months. Well, actually weeks, so he should be out before he returned. He had foot surgery. Number 9 is Alexander Usyk, the cruiserweight unified champion who stepped up into the heavyweight division. He eclipses inside their top 10. He's 18-0, 18 knockouts. If anybody ever seen Alexander Usyk, he's Russian. Fight, and he was a cruiserweight, how he dominated the cruiserweights. He's 2-0. He just beat Derek Chisora, a big heavyweight who's toward the backside of his career. Go back and look at that fight. It was actually a pretty good fight. And Alexander Usyk took some punishment. He took some shots to the stomach. He took shots to the head that showed that he can get in the ring with the big boys. And of course, a lot of people are making the comparison with Alexander Usyk to Evander Holyfield, who was a unified cruiserweight champion as well. This guy is leading a similar path. Although he's 31 years of age, he has one more fight. He beat Chisora, so his next fight is supposed to be with unified heavyweight champion, one of them, Anthony Joshua. So we'll see what happens. And of course, 10 on their top one is Tank Davis, 24-0, 23 knockouts. He won that. He got the junior lightweight, secondary lightweight champion as well. He didn't merely destroy Leo Santa Cruz. He hit Santa Cruz so hard he was on the mat for several minutes. Looked like they had to use smelling salts to wake him up, and he just bends Santa Cruz. And then there's like a whole little fracas that they're handling about him switching gloves before the fight and all that kind of stuff. So it's always something with boxing. That's why I said you just got to watch it. And of course, they dropped out Jermall Charlo, by the way. If anybody knowing about the boxing, that's what I'm saying. Jermall Charlo is not in the top 10, or Jermall Charlo's not in there.
Jermall not in the top 10.
None of them in the top 10.
I don't have Jermall in the top 10.
I don't know.
The man he's a unified lightweight. He was the first unified lightweight in like 30 years. How do you not have him in there? I don't understand that. The man's holding the IBC, WBA, NWB. He got all of them. He got everything. And you don't have him. You don't have him there. I don't understand that. That's impossible. I don't get that. Yeah, well, what list is that? Who made this list?
This is
that
CBS.
Must have been the same that made the LeBron list. That's what it was.
Yeah, it must be, right? All right. Well, we gotta tell you what we're gonna have to do.
We got the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC. Did the won the WBC like 2 or 3 times, but he didn't make the list. Him and his brother. Come on, man. It's rigged, bro. That's the same dude that said LeBron was better than Kobe and Jordan. That's the same dude. I'm telling you.
I don't think he talks about basketball, Mozzie, and it's just amazing how you try to preface everything against.
No, it's LeBron. LeBron is behind it. If I unpeeled the layers of the onion, LeBron is behind all of this.
Okay, it's a LeBron conspiracy. I see Uncle Mozzie. That's just what everything's LeBron's fault, obviously. So we go. That'll do
everything.
That'll do it for today's edition of TSC Unleashed. I'd like to thank everybody for joining the show today. Big ups to you. Thank y'all for the chat. Big ups to you, Crass. Good to see you, man. Thank you for posting the links. GM Kev, Phil Throwdocs, Brother Jerry, and all of the family members. John Thompson, I see you, family. Tyra, I see you, baby. Big ups to you. Let's see, Pastor Williams. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you in the chat. J Rock, Roy Baker. What's up, Ray? Good, Roy, good to see you in there. Elite Goods, Pay Attention 26, Throat Cutter, JT, all the family members in the building. Thank y'all for joining us for this edition of TSC Unleashed. Now remember, Marty Frost, I see you too, fam. So remember, family, a KB, who that to you as well. The right, I see you, fam. Hit the like button, fam. Please feel free to share the show links on your social media as well. And we'll return tonight on our Patreon show at 6 p.m. on Patreon. So if you're not a member of Patreon, feel free to go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network, or simply scroll down the description section below in the Patreon link and sign up. You can sign up for $1 a month. You can, whatever's in your heart to give, you can do that, or become a YouTube member, and you'll be able to jump in with us on our for TSC Q&A live tonight at 6 p.m. when we do our hater segment. We go over all of the nationwide haters that's hating on the Saints. We go over that and bust their tails up. We go over the latest news of the day, and plus we open up the chat for conversation as well on TSC Q&A live tonight on our Patreon channel. So feel free to subscribe and join up, fam. So once again, I'd like to thank Uncle Mozzie. I'm Big Q chiming in, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.